The alarm blared loudly, piercing through the silence of Taehyung's empty apartment. It's been a week since Vayan and Taehyung separated, and his life has been quite a mess. Coming home late, that too drunk, caused him to have a headache in the morning. He groaned as he reached out to turn it off, his hand fumbling around the bedside table. But it wasn't there. He opened his eyes blearily, searching for the familiar clock only to realize it was nowhere. Where is it? Taehyung muttered to himself, his voice hoarse from disuse. He stumbled out of bed, his feet landing on the cold floor. The room felt foreign to him, as if someone had rearranged everything overnight. He found the clock on the floor. They sagged, bending down and picking it up before turning it off. He made his way to the bathroom, hoping to at least find his toothbrush and toothpaste. But they were missing too. Taehyung cursed under his breath, running a hand through his messy hair. He couldn't remember the last time he had to search for his own belongings. He looked in the drawers and found a new pack of toothbrush and paste that Ryan must have bought as extra. After the shower, it took him forever to find his clothes, yet he couldn't find his tie and socks. Can it get any more worse? He groaned. The only option left was to head to the office without wearing a tie or socks because he was running late. As he walked into the kitchen, his stomach grumbled loudly, reminding him that he hadn't eaten anything since yesterday. They opened the fridge only to find it empty except for a few expired cartons of milk. He sighed in frustration. Realizing that Ryan was the one who made sure there was food in the house. Taehyung grabbed his coat and keys, deciding to head to the office early. Maybe he could grab breakfast on the way. But as he searched for his keys, he realized they were missing too. He checked all the usual spots, the key holder by the door, the bowl on the kitchen counter, but they were nowhere to be found. Damn it, Taehyung muttered, feeling a sense of helplessness wash over him. He had never felt so lost and alone before. Ryan had always taken care of all these things without him even asking. He finally managed to find a spare set of keys buried under a pile of papers on his desk as he made his way out of the apartment. He couldn't shake off the feeling of emptiness that seemed to engulf him. Things have been going on like this for the past week. The drive to the office was quiet and somber. Taehyung's mind was filled with memories of Vian, her laughter, her warmth, her presence that once had filled every corner of his life. He had taken her for granted, never realizing just how much she did for him until she was gone. When Taehyung arrived at the office, he found himself unable to focus on his work. His mind kept drifting back to Vian and all the ways she had made his life easier. From organizing his files to tying his tie every morning, she had done it all without complaint. As lunchtime approached, Taehyung's stomach growled loudly, reminding him once again of his empty fridge at home. He decided to order takeout, but when he reached for his wallet, he realized he forgot it at home. Great, Taehyung muttered, feeling a wave of frustration wash over him. He had never felt so helpless and alone in his life. Ryan had always been there to take care of him. And now that she was gone, he didn't know how to do even the simplest tasks. The rest of the day passed in a blur of missed call and forgotten deadlines. Taehyung couldn't concentrate on anything other than the gaping hole that Ryan's absence has left in his life. He missed her more than words could express. As the workday came to an end, Taehyung trudged back to his empty apartment, feeling more lost and alone than ever before. He stood in the doorway staring at the empty rooms that had once held so much warmth and love. I wanted her to leave me, but why does it hurt now? Taehyung whispered into the silence, his voice breaking with emotion. He realized now just how much he had taken her for granted, how much he had relied on her without even realizing it. He stood in the dimly lit hallway of his apartment building, his heart heavy with the weight of loneliness. The silence around him felt suffocating, a stark reminder of Vian's absence. Just as he was about to retreat into the emptiness of his apartment, his phone buzzed in his pocket. With a glimmer of hope, he fished it out and saw Vian's name flashing on the screen. His heart skipped a beat as he answered the call, his voice trembling with anticipation. Vian, is that you? There was a brief pause on the other end before Vian's voice came through, cool and distant. There's something I'll let you know. A rush of emotions flooded through Taehyung hope, fear, regret. He braced himself for what was to come. What is it, Vian? I've arranged for the final divorce papers to be signed tomorrow evening at the court. Vian stated matter of factly, her words like a sharp knife cutting through the fragile thread of hope that had started to form in Taehyung's heart. Taehyung felt a lump form in his throat, the reality of their impending divorce hitting him like a ton of bricks. Tomorrow, but can't we talk about this? Can't we try to work things out? Ryan's voice remained steady, devoid of any emotion. It's too late for that, Taehyung. We both know it. Tears welled up in Taehyung's eyes as he struggled to find the right words. I don't want this, Ryan. There was a moment of silence before Ryan spoke again, her voice turning even more cold. There was no us. Always just you. She sighed. It's better to move on and find someone else now. Taehyung nodded, his heart heavy with acceptance. I'll be there tomorrow. Ryan's tone softened a little as she continued. All your things, your ties, socks, and other belongings. They're arranged in boxes. Second last shelf of the closet. I've sent some grocery items. Think of them as a goodbye gift. Take care of yourself, Sehun. Before Taehyung could respond, Ryan ended the call, leaving him standing in the hallway with a hollow ache in his chest. He closed his eyes, trying to hold back the tears threatening to spill over. With a heavy heart, Taehyung made his way back into the apartment. Back in his room, he opened the boxes and saw his ties neatly folded, his socks arranged in pairs. All reminders of the little things Ryan had always taken care of for him. The realization hit him like a wave. He had lost not just a partner, but a pillar of support and love. He had let wine slip through his fingers without realizing her true worth until it was too late. With a heavy heart and a mind filled with memories of happier times, Taeyong prepared himself for the finality of signing the divorce papers, a painful reminder of what could have been. After having some bread for the grocery items Ryan sent, he lay in bed that night, staring at the empty space beside him where Ryan used to sleep. Taehyung vowed to cherish the memories they had shared and learn from his mistakes. He knew that moving forward would be difficult, but he was determined to do so with grace and acceptance. The next evening, Taehyung stood outside the courthouse, the weight of his decision heavy on his shoulders. As he signed the final divorce papers, a sense of finality washed over him. He apologized to Ryan countless times, and she could only smile and say, "Whatever happened has happened for good. Whatever will happen shall also happen for good." And as they walked away from the courthouse, Taehyung carried with him the bittersweet memories of a love lost and a lesson learned. That sometimes best things come unexpected, but they only stick with those who appreciate them. While Ryan carried a reality that efforts are useless when you are not the person they want. Leave the room where you are not invited. Leave the relationship when you are not appreciated. In the end, it's about who proves their love, not who promised.